Welcome back to the Superheroes Everyday Podcast. I'm Danny Horn. I am here with Evan Brady. Hello, Evan.
Hello again.
And this is Act 3 of the much maligned Suicide Squad. Story so far. Tough talking middle manager Amanda Waller has created a problem and a solution to that problem, but it is hard to say which one is which. This wacky team of misfit toys known as the Suicide Squad have had all kinds of bonding experiences. So now everybody who's still in the cast is banding together to fight the Enchantress, an inhuman alien jungle goddess who is standing around in a train station for some reason, pretending to create a machine that will end the world. But actually, she is mostly just creating a spooky lightning tornado and turning people into mushroom zombies. This is a very dumb premise, but that is what this movie is like.
And she's doing a little dance the whole time.
And she's doing a little belly dance. I have some more behind the scenes stories that I can share. Yeah. I've been saving these up. So this is about Jared Leto and the gifts. So this is in character as the Joker. He is sending them little gifts throughout the production. The story is first day of rehearsal. Jared is not invited to this because he's insane. Everybody else is in a rehearsal room, and they're doing all of David Ayer's stupid bonding games. So they're all getting into it. The actor who plays the Joker's lieutenant comes in with a box, and he says, "Present from Ms. Quinn." He hands the box to Margot Robbie. She opens the box. There is a live rat inside of it. They get over that. They go back to rehearsing.
That's probably the most cute thing he did.
Yeah, it gets worse. They get over that. They go back to rehearsal. 20 minutes later, the lieutenant shows up again and says, "This is for the squad from Mr. J." He throws a dead pig on the table that's full of bullets. He just plops it down, and all these bullets come out of his mouth. This is a month before they started shooting. He's at that level on the first day. He also sent little presents to Joel Kinnaman, including condoms that were taken out of their package. So people reported it as it was the used condoms, and apparently they weren't actually used, but they were sort of open and out of the package.
It's close enough.
It's bad. Yeah, it's still bad. As well as he sent him dildos and anal beads. And I don't know why he did that.
Maybe he knows something we don't.
Yeah. And there's other just vile things he sent to people. So Jared Leto said later he did this to, quote, create a dynamic and, quote, an element of surprise to break down walls between new colleagues.
I feel I have to point out again, Leto did not share scenes with most of these people.
No, he did not.
He never meets Rick Flag in the movie, not the movie I saw.
Yeah.
But probably ever.
End of Act 3, he actually does show up and have a scene with people, but not as deep as I really want to experience a dead pig full of bullets coming sitting on a rehearsal table.
Where do you even... I mean, I think I could get a dead pig, but it seems like there's only one way to fill a dead pig with bullets.
And that's to force feed it bullets. That's my sense.
Yeah, it's like foie gras.
I saw an article where he said, "I'm playing a guy called the Joker. It's okay to play some jokes." No, it's not. It is not. It is not okay to do this. You complete crazy person. He said any of the very few gifts that were given with a spirit of fun and adventure and received with laughter, fun, and adventure. I feel like this is not the case.
I think that he believes the first part of that wholeheartedly and has convinced himself he believes the second part of it.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into some of this laughter, fun, and adventure in Act 3. Team leaves the bar. This ragtag team of misfits and psychopaths, they do a team power walk where they all arrange themselves in a line and walk purposefully toward the camera, because that's what you do in a movie.
And this is when Boomerang returns.
And this is when Boomerang is just suddenly there for no reason.
90 seconds after he left the movie.
Yep. And then they stop doing the team power walk so they can stand around somewhere and actually make the plan for what's going to happen, which is kind of deflating. You're not supposed to do the power walk and then be like, "Oh, wait, I forgot something. Hang on. Wait, I'll be right back." You make the plan, then you do it's like these people don't understand how to be in a movie. I don't know why I'm explaining this to them.
Do you think Midway City is 100 miles long and 1 mile wide?
Because they have to walk some more.
It just feels like a straight line.
So much walking in this movie. Yeah.
They don't need a subway in that city. What's the point?
All right. You just got moving sideways. So the plan is Enchantress and Incubus are in the train station, which is kind of Grand Central Station. I don't know why they insist on just standing around in a train station for the entire movie, but they do. Flag knows there's an explosive device that he left under the train station. I guess when he was down there with June, but I don't really understand it.
Sure.
And that area, so this is one where I'm sincere question. That area is all flooded.
Yeah.
Why is that all flooded? Did you understand any of this?
Uh, I would say it's flooded so that Croc could get his moment, but they refuse that.
Well, he does go.
But they send the SEALs in there, like
Yeah, but he goes
Clint,
with them.
Clint Eastwood Jr. goes down
Yeah,
there. Like
GQ. Yeah.
he's not a crocodile man.
Yeah, GQ and a bunch of his soldiers, they go with Killer Croc. He does accompany them at least and position the explosive somewhere.
He insists on it.
Yeah. And so they are going to explode this bomb under Incubus, and then they don't have much of a plan after that.
It's not a good plan.
No, it's really not.
I mean, these are ancient gods with with
Magic powers.
yeah, and they think they're gonna blow them up.
And I wish it was true that would not work, but it does. So
It absolutely does. It works twice.
yeah. So then the team just walks straight into the train station. They don't have to fight any mushroom guys anymore. Apparently that stage of their lives is over.
Well, that was a different level. They beat that one.
Right.
Yeah.
So instead there's just Enchantress, who is up on her little platform doing basically like a belly dance. She's just kind of like wiggling around.
I'm saying it's an invisible hula hoop. That's what I'm going with.
I have no idea what she's supposed to be doing, but it involves standing still and wiggling. So the team goes in, they're all hiding behind pillars, even though she knows that they're there. She does a little villain monologue that involves the line, "Why do you serve those who cage you?" Which is a good question.
Got a point.
Yeah. She says, "I'm your ally." She says, "I know exactly what you want." And she sends them all visions of what they want out of life. And so there is a sequence of the characters having visions of their dream lives that offers absolutely zero surprises, which is not okay. We should not be able to write these for the movie. The movie is the one that's supposed to be writing the movie. We don't. Oh, so Deadshot kills Batman. That's his thing.
Mm-hmm. And good for him.
And good for him. Harley sees herself as a suburban stay-at-home mom with Jared Leto and two little kids.
She sees herself as married to Patrick Bateman.
Yes, yeah, that is true.
And I have to point out that she pushes the normal button on the dishwasher.
Oh, does she really? I didn't even notice that. Yeah. It just feels character destroying to me. Like that's what we want to say about Harley right now is that she actually
really wants to be as normal, like
a suburban stay-at-home mom. Yeah, it's just not. It's not.
With curlers in her hair.
Yeah. Flag wants to be in bed with June. No surprise. Diablo's with his wife and his kids. No surprise.
Hey, tell me, what's Boomerang's fantasy?
Boomerang's fantasy is to be in this movie because I don't think he gets one. We don't see that.
No, he doesn't get one. And
Katana doesn't either.
I mean, I think Katana gets a little bit, doesn't she?
Does she?
With her dead husband?
Not that I recall.
That might be in the extended cut
that
I watched.
Oh, yeah, probably.
But yeah, Boomerangs would have been something perverted with a pink unicorn.
With a unicorn, right. So then they just don't show that. The one that would have been interesting and offer some kind of visual surprise. Yeah. So Diablo's the one who snaps him out of it because, as we know, he already has a lot of feelings. And so this movie is now officially a no surprise zone. But this, I believe, in David Ayer's original cut, this is where the Joker comes back into the movie. That he survives the Whirlybird accident and he has made a deal with the Enchantress. Once again, he offers Harley a chance to join him. And once again, she says no because she doesn't want to betray her team. And then the Joker throws a grenade and then he just disappears and he's not in the movie anymore.
It's ninja smoke bomb.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I don't think it matters really which version of this movie we actually see. Both of these cuts sound just terrible.
There's something I wanted to point out. I watched this movie a few years ago. And I was re-watching it as homework.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it across 2 nights because I kept pausing it and taking notes and looking stuff up. And I noticed that right around this point, all of the pop song needle drops disappear.
Is that right?
We don't get anything. I'm looking at my list. Yeah,
they're
we don't
they're doing like majestic, like this is
like
important music.
score music. We don't get
Yeah.
any. We really don't get anything from the scene in the bar until Bohemian Rhapsody at the end.
Oh wow.
It's a very distinct break, and it feels like you said, it's two different movies mashed together.
Yeah. Diablo leads them out from behind cover so that he can yell at Enchantress. And this is a thing that drives me absolutely crazy. All of the characters walk forward and they stand in a line. This feels to me like straight up just cinema malpractice. Like she's up on a little platform and they all stand in a line facing her and talking to her, which just looks terrible and is ridiculous. And they do it twice. This is the first time. So they do it the first time. She says a bunch of magic bullshit. And then Deadshot points at her. This is actually the worst moment. I've said this. I've said lots of things are the worst moment, but this is the worst moment where Deadshot points at her and says, "Lady, you are evil."
And Will Smith almost sells that.
Are you really going with that though? I feel like this is where they just ran out of script and they just started typing things. He does try to sell it. I agree.
Yeah,
But
he tries.
that might be the worst line I've ever heard. Lady, you are evil. Fuck that. My God.
What is she doing that's eviler than the things that they have done in the past?
Well, she's turning people into mushrooms by
Eh,
kissing them.
maybe the mushroom people are happy that way.
I don't like any. I can't muster up any empathy for any of these people.
I don't like mushrooms, so I'm too prejudiced to make that
Yeah,
choice.
you wouldn't want to do it. So then it's time to start hitting stuff. So here comes Incubus.
He's like 12. He's like 12 feet tall for some
Yeah.
reason.
So now this is a movie about fighting a 12-foot tall guy and getting him to stand in the right spot in this train station and get all blowed up.
Does this feel like a video game to you? Just a little.
A little bit. It does.
Just a little.
One thing it reminds me of is that Man of Steel also ends with a big fight in a train station.
Oh, it does.
This is like the DC films thing. We're actually lucky, like they learned from this film maybe not to keep doing that, so we didn't get like Aquaman ending in a train station.
That would have been something. Well, you know, Avengers ends outside of Grand Central.
Grand Central is very important.
And this Midway City train station looks a lot like Grand Central's.
It does, but it's not as good or as big.
No.
So this is one of them deals where you've got two adversaries in front of you and just one of them attacks you and the other one just hangs back.
Mm-hmm.
Because as you know, villains take turns.
It's only fair.
That's how villains work. So everybody tries. They try to shoot Incubus and Boomerang tries to throw a boomerang and Katana tries to use a katana. And
you should say that's Boomerang number 3.
Boomerang. Oh, this is the third. Yeah, this
the
is
third and final boomerang that Captain Boomerang throws in this movie.
It is not successful. I don't believe that any of these boomerangs are that successful. But none of that works. So this is going to take a heroic self-sacrifice, and that they all drew lots, and that's going to be Diablo.
Hmm.
So he throws some flame, and then Incubus kind of shoves him across the room, and then it is on. Diablo, he completely flames up and becomes a terrifying fire demon that is even bigger than Incubus. Really, they did not need to bring anybody else on this whole adventure. Diablo could have handled everything.
He needs at least one other person to be a cheerleader and tell him he can do this.
To kind of push him around and tell him he has to go flame up. You know what he needs? He needs an invisible woman, and he needs a rubber guy, and he needs a big rocky monster guy. Then he could actually fit in somewhere. So we got the soldiers downstairs underwater. I don't know why. They're trying to get the bomb in the right position, and they're being attacked by underwater mushroom guys. So this is like the other.
That's the thing. It's only underwater because they have Killer Croc with them.
Yeah.
But the army guys go, and they don't even want Croc's help.
But because they have scuba masks, like you do.
So why is it underwater?
I don't. It's so confusing. Like even within universe, like I don't even understand like literally where that water comes from. I don't know how that area flooded. There was no flooding scene as far as I know. But GQ, Scott Eastwood, he's a little cutie. He's gonna have his own big self-sacrifice moment. We don't really care, but
no. No, we
Apparently,
don't
this
care.
turns him into main character number 13. Up top, Diablo's trying to drive Incubus into the corner, so he's kind of positioned over the bomb. But Diablo runs out of power, and he turns back into Diablo, and he just yells, "Blow it!" And they blow it. And Diablo dies, and GQ dies, and Incubus dies, and now we're down to just one villain.
So, an explosion is a combination of two things. It's an explosion is a rapid expansion of energy,
Yes.
and it's usually accompanied by fire.
Yes.
Now, Diablo was not killed by the fire.
Right.
I assume.
Yeah. Right. He shouldn't
So,
be.
so, what I'm saying is, I don't think he should be dead.
I think you're right.
I mean, I accept that he died because explosions are violent processes, but I don't think this movie is that interested in physics.
Yeah. No. He dies because they just want somebody to be a hero, and they're tired of Diablo, and so.
I mean, I guess Scott Eastwood got blown up too.
Yep. Everybody
But
does.
nobody cares.
Nope. And then, fuck me, Enchantress, still standing on her little platform. She is basically just like a toxic trash fire that's just letting off fumes. The whole squad breaks cover, and they just go and stand in a fucking line again right in front of her.
Hey, do you remember? This sounds off topic, but I'm getting to a point. Do you remember when Britney Spears did that thing with the snake?
I do.
Is that what Enchantress
That is what
doing?
Enchantress is doing. Yes, I agree.
Just no snake.
Without the snake. Yeah, she's just pretending that the snake is there. And then they all go and they stand in a line, and it's another lady you are evil moment. And just like, this is not heroic. So she says, "My spell is complete," which is nice. This is a very convenient time for her spell to be complete because the movie's almost over. But I don't know what she completed. She does some villainous trash talk. She says, "Once you and your armies are gone, my darkness will spread across this world, and it will be mine to rule." I don't know why she wants to rule this world. Do you? She doesn't seem to like this world. What does she want?
You know, I have no idea what her motivation is, let alone what her dreams are.
So the big pillar of magical lightning gets even bigger, and it reaches all the way up to a satellite in Earth orbit, which apparently is the satellite that the Joint Chiefs feel some responsibility for. They're upset because luckily there's another satellite that's up there just to take pictures of the satellite that gets destroyed.
I thought the same thing.
They travel in pairs, these satellites, so you can get a good camera angle on it.
They call it the satellite buddy system. Yeah.
And they're just focused on each other in case one of them gets blowed up.
Hey, I'll give this movie points for that's the highest a blue sky beam has gone in one of these movies as far as I can remember.
That's true. That was the record they were trying to break. So then they blow up some other like secret facility. As somebody in the Joint Chiefs war room tells us, like, wait, she just blew up this thing. These are secret facilities. How does she know?
Did you see Cabin in the Woods?
I did.
You know, there's those other sites where other experiments are going on.
Right, yes, yeah.
And you really want to see a movie about those other places? Yeah, I don't want to see the movie about this other place, though.
No, this is not the other place I want to see.
Yeah, I don't care.
So it turns out Enchantress has Waller just like upside down and unconscious somewhere like a bat with an electric tentacle in her ear that sucks out information about secret facilities that she destroys with lightning.
Yeah.
This is utterly irrelevant. Who cares about these other facilities?
So does Amanda Waller have like a USB port in her ear?
Yes, she does. Where you can just reach in and plug into her.
It's where science and magic intersect.
Yeah. And then, as if this could not get more basic, she turns back into the dark smoke witch that we saw originally, and she just jumps into the middle of the room, and they have a big, dumb, kickboxy fist fight like every piece of scripted media that has been made in the last 3 decades. There's all this smoke and rubble, and Enchantress has some swords now. People are getting thrown around, and then Killer Croc climbs up from under the floor, and they shoot at her, and she's clearly indestructible and is not responsive to bullets at all. And Croc picks her up, and he throws her around. And then she goes back to her little platform, And all the other characters go and stand in a line in front of her again for the third time. This is the dumbest, most basic thing that they could do, and they do it 3 times because they can't think of anything else to do.
That was all the coverage they shot that day.
Oh my God. It's insane to me. I would say this must be all like studio mandated reshoots because David Ayer really was not trying anymore. Like they were making him shoot a sequence that he didn't want to make, and he is pissed about that, and he is taking it out on us. Enchantress says that they have earned mercy somehow. We're almost done. She says, "For the last time, join me or die." And we do. Harley gets a little funny character moment where she pretends she's going to join up. And Deadshot says, like, she's trying to take over the world. And Harley says, "So what's the world ever done for us anyway? It hates us." It's late in the film for subtext.
This does kind of work.
It does.
I appreciate the fake out only lasts for maybe 15 seconds, but it does work.
Yeah, she's just pretending. She's just getting close enough to grab Katana's katana.
That's convenient.
Yeah. And she says, "I like what you're selling, lady. There's just one teensy problem. You messed with my friends." And then, Evan, guess what? Turns out, if you believe in yourself and you're true to your friends, you can do anything, as every movie has ever taught me.
You can cut that moldy turnip right out of her.
Right out of her chest. So Harley takes Katana's katana and she cuts open Enchantress's chest with the katana, and she tears out the glowing green turnip heart of the witch. And then she throws a gun in slow motion. Like an asshole.
This is the slow-mo portion of the film.
And there's all this big majestic music. And then, for fuck's sake, so Killer Croc is throwing a bomb, and Deadshot has to shoot the bomb. And then Enchantress gives Deadshot a vision of his daughter, who stands in front of him and begs him not to pull the trigger, as if the audience for a second is thinking that right here at the climax, Deadshot's going to make a choice not to shoot. This is why I hate the daughter. So once again, it's just the most obvious possible thing they could do. So he throws the bomb, and Deadshot ignores his daughter, as he should, and shoots at the bomb. And there's slow motion, and there's rain for some reason. It's raining right now.
Underground. Yeah, sure. What the thing I get stuck on is they have Croc throw the bomb.
Yeah.
Because I guess he's super strong, like a crocodile.
Yeah.
It seems like something Boomerang could have done. Right? Like, he's good at throwing things.
That's a good point.
But
I don't even know where the bomb came from.
Oh, but if he threw it, would the bomb have come back? You don't want that.
That's true.
Know.
Yeah, no, we can't do that.
Is that his superpower? And do you think he throws it comes back?
Self-sabotage. Yeah.
Is Boomerang even in there? I forgot.
Everyone's there somewhere.
Did he leave to take a leak again?
Yeah, him
Maybe?
and Katana. So,
yeah.
So the bomb blows up. The thing that Enchantress has been building all this time that she said was a machine, but we haven't gotten any kind of look at it. I guess that blows up, and it implodes, and then all the trash from the sky beam just falls down, and it's over. It's over. Thank God.
Rubble falls from the sky without hurting anybody.
There's a whole thing with Enchantress and Flag where he crushes the heart, and then they think that Enchantress is dead, and then she gets up and pulls her skin off.
her mud skin off.
Skin, and it's June, and she's
alive. She's mostly clean underneath somehow. Yeah,
and she kisses Rick as if this is a relationship that we're invested in and give a shit about. And they all think they're leaving, and then Waller comes back in. Ta-da!
Where was she?
She has escaped from hanging upside down with a tentacle in her ear. And she still has the wrist app that can blow up everybody's head. So she says they're all going back to prison. They're all going to get 10 years off their sentence. And they all say some stuff. And they want things. Several of them want things. Deadshot says he wants to see his daughter. Harley wants an espresso machine. Killer Croc wants BET.
Yeah, I have issues with that quote unquote joke.
Tell me your issues.
He could have said anything. He said I want cable.
Yeah.
You could have said I want a TV in my underwater cage.
But the big scary monster,
I want
he
BET.
wants BET.
Which might have been really funny in 1995, maybe?
I guess it's hard to
You
say.
know,
Yeah. Deadshot is sitting with his daughter. This is just exhausting. It's actually a good scene.
it's cute.
It is
It's
cute.
very cute.
He's helping her with her geometry homework for some reason, and now she knows that he's an assassin and she's okay with it.
He gets to say hypotenuse a couple of
He
times.
says hypotenuse.
I appreciate that.
And then he gets taken back to prison. So there's another little montage, and we are back. This final needle drop. Bohemian Rhapsody to go along with the trailer that people liked. We finally get there. Everybody's back in jail. Deadshot's getting letters from his daughter. Harley has the espresso machine. Croc has a TV and BET on it. Boomerang's just locked up because nobody gives a shit about Boomerang. And then the Joker breaks in and rescues Harley and takes her out of jail so that she can be in a spin-off sequel like we want her to be.
I want to know what Boomerang asked for that they didn't give him.
He just wanted to leave, and they said no.
He doesn't even have a shirt.
No.
In this tiny little window that
I don't really understand what they're trying to do with Boomerang.
This movie does not respect Captain Boomerang the way he deserves.
It really does not.
He's really good with a boomerang.
I can't work up any kind of interest in anything that happens to him. There's a mid-credit scene with Bruce Wayne and Amanda Waller sniping at each other, and that sets up Wonder Woman and Justice League, which come out the next year. And so we'll come back to that story later on in the podcast at some point.
We skipped over
What did we skip?
We skipped over Harley getting sprung, right?
Oh, I mentioned that real fast.
Did you?
Do you have anything to say about?
I didn't even notice.
Yeah,
You're just in a fog.
I've stopped listening. I've stopped listening too.
I think the only really notable thing about that is that Joker is wearing SWAT gear.
Yes, that says Joker on it.
That says Joker, of course. He spends a lot of money on like tailoring and stuff.
He really does. He sweats the small stuff. That's the good thing you can say about the Joker.
He does.
He takes care of the details.
Speaking of Batfleck,
yes,
I'm not upset that we never got a real Affleck Batman movie.
Yeah, me either.
But thinking about the movie that would have been made with Leto's Joker and Affleck's Batman.
Yeah.
And Leto pulling all that so-called method shit.
Right.
And
do you think like Affleck just would have punched him in the face?
That brick shit house Affleck, as he would have knocked his teeth out for real. And I kind of wish that had happened.
I totally agree. Yeah, you are exactly right. That would have been fun. Yeah,
the movie itself probably would have sucked, but the stories would.
But behind the scenes would have been. I mean, I think like I would so much rather watch a documentary about the making of this movie than actually watching the movie. I bet it was super interesting.
Not the good kind of interesting, but the interesting kind of interesting.
No, just like the fascinating, like oh my god, train wreck kind of thing.
Yeah, can't look away.
Yeah. You want to talk about toys?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Talk about toys. Toys by 2016, figures are not really for kids anymore. So they don't come with cool accessories or anything.
It's also hard to sell toys from a movie called Suicide Squad, I think.
Well, and a movie that really children have no reason to. I mean, adults have no reason to watch this movie, but like kids, there's nothing that kids are going to want to see in this methodical and sad movie. So this is all aimed at the adult collectors. Mattel had the license. Main set was 6 action figures. Deadshot, basically like, and not that many from the movie. There's Deadshot and Harley Quinn and the Joker, who's not really in the movie. Boomerang and Katana, who I don't know who wanted Katana.
Oh, she looks cool.
And then Batman is the 6th.
Sure.
He's hardly in the movie. But you need to collect all 6 to put together the pieces to make Killer Croc.
Yeah.
Which actually looks like a good figure. So that's just more like collector abuse.
You know, there was a time I had to go cold turkey on action figures in general. Yeah. But there was a time when I was really into the Marvel Legends. And when the Build-A-Figure started, they were huge.
Yeah.
Like, I have a Galactus and a Sentinel that are like 18 inches tall.
Yeah.
But now it's like collect all the figures to make another figure roughly the
The
size of
same
all the
size.
other figures. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's like I know plastic is expensive because of petroleum and all that kind of thing, but it's just not the same.
Yeah. And they did a ton of exclusives. There were two Toys R Us exclusives. They had an Amazon one. There were two Walmart figures, and then a set that was just available at Comic-Con that was a Joker figure and Panda Man.
Really?
Yeah, just to drive everyone nuts.
Okay, I'm gonna.
That was the Comic-Con figure.
Well, I'm going straight to eBay after this now.
No, well, you and everybody else in 2016.
I gotta get that Panda Man.
So I think the question about this movie is, was this worth it? They went to a lot of trouble to make this movie. They had Jared Leto pretending to be a psychopath the whole time, an actual psychopath pretending to be a different psychopath. They had to do all these reshoots. David Ayer punched a woman in the face. There was a dead pig full of bullets. Like, was it worth doing all of this to make what ultimately became this just boring ass movie?
That is unsurprisingly difficult to Google now because there's a better one with the
There's a
same
better
title.
Suicide Squad. Yeah. So David Ayer is still bitter about this. Up until, I don't know, maybe last year, like he's still tweeting about it. He has his own version that he wants to release because he made his whole thing. They tested it. He's got like a whole cut.
It's
so
there.
There's a hashtag for release the Ayer cut that got like when they released the Snyder cut of Justice League, then everybody kind of moved over and said, okay, well now release the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. And what I've read is that Warner Brothers is just saying, fuck no. Because the Snyder Bros were so terrible about the Snyder cut, and they don't want to keep just like feeding this group of people who harass them and threaten to murder them.
Yeah, because they spent a lot of money making that Snyder cut.
Yeah.
And I don't think it sold any HBO Max subscriptions.
Yeah, I doubt it. And then they do Wonder Woman, they do Justice League, and then the whole Snyderverse falls to ruin.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, me too.
It was an experiment and it failed, and I would ignore it too if I were them.
You have anything else to say about this movie?
I don't like to use hot topic as an adjective.
Yes.
But this is the most hot topic movie I've seen in a long time.
This is a very hot topic movie, you're right.
It's like just from the production design and the costumes especially, like I didn't expect. I was surprised. I didn't realize they made action figures, but like if it was today, that there would be the Funko Pops of.
Oh, I'm sure there were. I'm sure there were Funko Pops. I don't even, for the toy segment, I don't even look up the Funko Pop because I just assume there is always a Funko Pop for everything, and if there isn't yet, then there will be like a month from now.
It's like the production design people were like, what's popular, what would look cool, what would get young people excited, and David Ayer was like, how can we make this dark and gritty and unappealing?
Yes. Everybody's working overtime to make this movie suck.
They worked so hard.
I know, it's so much effort. I honestly,
hundreds of people working so hard, and they didn't want it to be bad. I know that. We all know that. And
honestly, the person I feel the worst for is that poor costume designer who has to deal with Jared Leto. That's the worst.
No. It's the makeup person who had to paint his feet for that promo photo.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, with him just snapping and saying, "I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. How many children do you have? I'm going to kill your children.
You better get between my toes."
Oh God,
doing that voice. That voice.
We don't see him again.
What is that voice?
I don't even know. Yeah, he's hard. He's hard to live with.
It's like the Joker should. It's such a tricky character.
Yeah,
like, you shouldn't like him.
Yeah,
but you should like seeing him.
Yeah,
and this is not. No, I did not like seeing him.
No, definitely not. I think you're right about having the Patrick Bateman hair. I think that's really funny.
He's so slicked back. Yeah, this because he's wearing like a dark suit in that fantasy scene. Yeah, it could have been. It could have been Christian Bale for all I know. We don't really see his face.
When you know that Jared Leto he plays the guy that Christian Bale killed.
Oh, that's right. Right. Yeah. Actually, that was probably a stand-in in that scene when we don't see his face.
You mean getting killed?
No, in the no, I mean in the fantasy sequence. Because
Oh no, I think we do. I think we do. I think we see
do
him.
we
Yeah.
get Jared Leto on a set with children? Is that okay?
Well, but he wasn't being the Joker, and so it's okay. They must have wanted that like one scene where like they take it. He tries to act like that, and they just like turn the hose on him, and they're like, "No, act like a person today. Today is the day you act like a person on set."
There's one PA on set with like a water spray bottle. It's just like, no, bad Joker, bad.
That's when they really had to draw the line. They call them over, and he just squirts them in the face. That's a great idea.
He was human resources said we have to spray him whenever he does this stuff.
Get him to calm the fuck down so we can move on. Jesus Christ. Evan Brady, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much. This has been so much fun.
If you wanna communicate with Evan, what's your Twitter handle?
I stubbornly remain on Twitter in spite of everything. At Rex_thrillho. If you know what that means, you get it. Yeah, I mean that's about it.
All right.
You know, if you want the occasional
Funny joke,
long drunk thread about the Muppet movie, hey, I'm your guy.
Always a good time. For more comedy about the history of superhero movies, you can go to the blog at superheroeseveryday.com. If you like the show, please leave a review, or you could reach me on Twitter, Facebook, or on the blog. It would be great to hear from you. And please tell the people in your life about the show. And here's what's coming up in the next episode. Next week on the podcast, we're about to get shell-shocked as Sloan joins me to talk about Michael Bay's 2014 martial arts exercise video, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So that's why if you're in a horror movie and you hear that like swing knife noise, you're like, okay, cool. Like, fuck up your blade, dude. I'm feeling safer already.
I mean, yeah, organized crime wants to control an area, but they don't want to run a city.
No.
You know, they don't want to become the municipal services.
One thing that occurs to me, actually, is it possible that ninjas are just expensive?
So they lost everything except everything.
You can't put Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles anywhere where it's not automatically dramatic, except in this movie, where they manage to do it all the time. I don't get it. All right, get excited for that. Come back next week for the Superheroes Everyday podcast. Thanks for listening. Love you. Bye.
Please, Daddy, don't do it. The only way for us to be together is if you don't pull the trigger. Daddy, I love you. Please, don't do this.